Hi, guys. This is for our week 6 discussion. And this week I'm going to continue my conversation on progressivism as Marxism. And I'm going to discuss the 1913 Revenue Act and the 16th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. And per class instruction, I have located a couple articles from the Jerry Falwell Library. The first one is from the Baltimore Sun, dating to 1911. The second is from the New York Times from 1914. Let me lay out a couple definitions of what this is all discussing through these articles. Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution, the fourth clause, states that there shall be no capitation or other direct tax shall be laid unless in proportion to the consensus or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. And so what is a capitation tax? Well, per definition, it is an assessment levied by the government upon a person at a fixed rate regardless of income or worth. And what does the 16th Amendment say? It was ratified February 3rd, 1913, and it says that the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived without apportionment among the several states and without regard to any consensus or enumeration. So let's jump right into the articles. The first article, as I stated, is from the Baltimore Sun, and it describes the argument raging in 1911 over the income tax, which had been proposed numerous times since about 1890 or so, maybe a time or two even during the Civil War. The conservatives of the area argued that the income tax was not only unconstitutional, but it would never get the states needed for ratification. On the other side, the progressives argued that the government can no longer maintain itself through tariffs and taxes on goods, and they must impose an income tax. Of course, since about 1890, it was progressives within the federal government who continuously expanded and enlarged government, thus needing more funding. And this will go back again to the Hegelian idea of problem, reaction, solution, which is a Marxist creation. The second article I chose is from the New York Times from 1914, shortly after the income tax had been passed. And it describes a federal lawsuit brought in the New York District Court, which was challenging the constitutionality of the income tax. And the foundation of this case was the aforementioned Article 1, Section 9, and also stated that the exemption system not only double taxed the wealthy, but also the middle class, as only the destitute and impoverished would qualify for the exemptions. And this would create a revolving door of poverty by taxing the middle class out of business and creating a two-tier class system. So in essence, the tax on income of individuals was not only unconstitutional, but it was antithetical to America's ideals on free market economics. It was a redistribution of wealth domestically, an expansion of government power beyond the founding ideals, and placed business under the control of the federal government. During the same period, corporations were formed, which would make big business and government collusion legal, but also deemed corporations as individuals, especially for tax purposes. The corps would get continued exemptions and special rules through the federal government, allowing them to metastasize and slowly consume smaller markets and small business owners. When you put all of this together, beginning with the 16th Amendment in 1913, it very much begins to look like the National Socialism or even the fascism of Italy in Germany and Italy that would take off late 20s, early 30s, really culminate late 30s, early 40s. That's all I have for this week. I hope everybody has an excellent weekend. Thank you.